Welcome. And on Samson's take, I title it Leadership That Is Aware. Leadership that is aware. Aware of the laws, aware of the responsibilities, aware of the duty to be accountable. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, is apologizing for the second time. And this is even after the police had given him a penalty, a fine, for breaching COVID-19 regulations. He paid the fine and then apologized to the nation one more time. Watch this, and I'll conclude my take.
Today, I've received a fixed penalty notice from the Metropolitan Police relating to an event in Downing Street on the 19th of June 2020. And let me say immediately that I've paid the fine and I once again offer a full apology. And in a spirit of openness and humility, I want to be completely clear about what happened on that date. My day began shortly after 7 a.m. and I chaired 8 meetings in number 10, including the Cabinet Committee deciding COVID strategy. I visited a school in Hemel Hempstead, which took me out of Downing Street for over 4 hours. And amongst all these engagements, on a day that happened to be my birthday, there was a brief gathering in the Cabinet room shortly after 2 p.m, lasting for less than 10 minutes, during which people I work with kindly passed on their good wishes. And I have to say, in all frankness, at that time, it did not occur to me that this might have been a breach of the rules. But of course, the police have found otherwise, and I fully respect the outcome of their investigation. I understand the anger that many will feel that I myself fell short when it came to observing the very rules which the government I lead had introduced to protect the public. And I accept in all sincerity that people had the right to expect better. And now I feel an even greater sense of obligation to deliver on the priorities of the British people, strengthening our economy, creating jobs and opportunities, levelling up across the whole of the United Kingdom. Now, of course, ensuring that Putin fails in Ukraine and easing the burden on hard-working families caused by higher energy prices. I will take that forward, that task, with due humility, but with maximum determination to fulfil my duty and do what is best for the country I serve.
The Prime Minister didn't spot that he was at a social event. That's the excuse, isn't it? Come off it. I mean, how stupid does the Prime Minister think the British people are? The worst of it is, he's already managed to completely destroy Allegra Stratton's career. He's tarnished the reputation of Lord Geit. And now he's making fools of every single MP who cheered him earlier. Every single one who goes out on the radio and television to defend this shower of shenanigans.
After months of deceit and deception, the pathetic spectacle of a man who's run out of road. His defence that he didn't realise he was at a party. It is so ridiculous that it's actually offensive to the British public. Mr. Speaker, when the Prime Minister's former Health Secretary broke the rules, he resigned. Yes. And the Prime Minister said he was right to do so. When the Prime Minister's spokesperson laughed about the rules being broken, she resigned. And the Prime Minister accepted that resignation. Why does the Prime Minister still think that the rules don't apply to him?
The public overwhelmingly think that the Prime Minister should resign. Trust has been lost and the public will not forgive or forget. If the Prime Minister has no sense of shame, then the Tory backbenchers must act to remove him.
So after his initial apology, in Parliament, this is how the MPs reacted in calling a spade, that the Prime Minister was lying, he was being senseless and stupid, and that he was taking the British people for granted. His own officials had misconducted themselves regarding the rules, COVID-19 rules, and they resigned honorably, on principle. He eventually admits he gets fined, guess what? By the police, not the court. He admits the fine, he pays the fine, and he continues to render an unqualified apology. That is leadership that is aware. Here in Ghana, we saw what happened. The media spoke about it, and that was the end of it. Nothing happened. Nobody. Those who broke the rules that they set for us to respect, you heard rationalizing, including a good friend of mine, Dr. Anthony Isiansari, rationalizing what had happened, how the executive, people in leadership, had breached the COVID-19 rules at Sir John's funeral, among others. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Nobody said sorry for it. Leadership must be a leadership that is aware. Our Constitution says from the preamble that our Constitution is based on this principle, that all powers of government spring from the sovereign will of the people. Without the people, you are no leader. Without the people, you don't get into the executive or government to serve. The same Constitution in Article 1 says the sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people of Ghana, in whose name and for whose welfare, the powers of government are to be exercised. Ask yourself, is this what we get in this part of the world? And that is where I agree with people like Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh when they say our bane is the imperial executive presidency. They are so powerful, nothing happens without them. They appoint in the thousands of persons. That's where I agree with Professor Kojo Appiah-Tuah when he says this democracy is a sham. That's where I agree with Fix the Country when they say we need a new constitution, a radical shift from the sham that we are practicing and gloating about it. The Constitution says this Constitution is established on the basis of the commitment to freedom, justice, probity, and accountability. Are leaders really accountable? The political appointees, are they accountable? Do they live by principles that we can look up to? The Justice Minister in the UK has resigned. Why? Because he feels that even in the apology given by the Prime Minister, there is some sense of rationalization, some bit of it in it. He says he cannot continue to be Justice Minister in a country where the President breaks the law. We don't stand up to our leaders, not even in Parliament. See what happened in the British Parliament. Of course, there are different, situations in both places. That is my take. We'll be right back.